The missile, we have not seen any damage so far. And as the U.S. waits for a possible response from Iran, we are learning about more potential impacts here at home. Let's get to NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi, joining us here in studio with the latest. Camilla?
Hi, Kathy. We are learning more about that warning issued by the State Department to Americans who are traveling overseas right now. And two defense officials and a senior White House official telling NBC News that the first 48 hours after the attack remain of primary concern. Officials also say that right now it is still unclear whether any potential retaliation from Iran would target places in the U.S., overseas, or both. The Department of Homeland Security has issued a heightened threat environment following President Trump giving the order to bomb nuclear sites in Iran. Here's what we know. According to DHS, low-level cyber attacks against U.S. networks by Iranian hacktivists are likely. DHS also says that the likelihood of violent extremists in the U.S. would likely increase if Iranian leadership issued a religious ruling calling for retaliatory violence against targets in the U.S. The DHS also says that the ongoing conflict could also motivate hate crime perpetrators to attack targets perceived to be Jewish, pro-Israel, linked to the U.S. government or the military. Earlier today, I met with the CEO of the Israeli-American Council. Here's more of what he had to say about those possible concerns regarding U.S. embassies in the Middle East.
The United States has evacuated certain embassies. These are all precautionary measures. You know, there's no, as far as I know, there's no hard intelligence on is intending to attack American targets. Should they do that, it would be, as Secretary Rubio said, the worst mistake they've ever made. Well, I think we all should be careful. We all should obviously be very wary if Americans or for that, or Jews, whether they be American Jews, Israeli Jews, or Jews from other countries who are traveling around the world. They should be situationally aware. They should be cautious. But they shouldn't hide. There's nothing to from.
And with Governor Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass released statements yesterday saying that they are closely monitoring any potential impacts to public safety. Kathy, back to you.
Thank you so much. Also, Vice President J.D. Vance says President Trump wants peace after the strikes. He spoke with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press this morning.
No, Kristen, we're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. And we have no interest in a protracted conflict. We have no interest in boots on the ground. The president has actually been one of the fiercest critics of 5 years of failed foreign policy in the Middle East, which is why he did what he did. A very precise, a very surgical strike tailored to an American national interest. And that national interest is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It would be a disaster for us and for our allies in the region. So I don't fear that this is going to become a protracted conflict, because I think that we have a president who knows what's in America's interest and is willing to do the things necessary to accomplish that interest.
Despite the vice president's attempts to minimize fear, anti-war protesters were seen outside of the White House today. A group in Lafayette Park called for peace and urged you not to wade deeper into the conflict in the Middle East. And protesters gathered in New York City as well, hundreds of people in Times Square. And there were protests here in Southern California. NBC4 Leong is live in Westwood near the federal building.
Yeah, Kathy, there were about 200 people that were gathered at the corner of Veteran and Wilshire. They all left around 5:30, but members of the Marine as well as police officers are still out here surrounding the building. The No War in Iran rally started around 3 o'clock this afternoon. There were multiple organizers, including the Answer Coalition, Palestinian Youth Movement, the People's Forum, and National Iranian American Council. The group says it's in response to President Trump's decision to bomb Iranian nuclear facilities, and they do not want to see the U.S. involved in another foreign war. According to the organizers, they say it violates the UN Charter, international law, and the U.S. Constitution. In addition, they believe it has the potential to catastrophic damage and global war with mass casualties. They're holding this rally to demand an end to the U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran. I spoke to demonstrators why they came out in support of the rally.
I don't believe we should have attacked Iran. It's like we should in Gaza. We shouldn't be supporting the Israelis in Gaza right now.
The fact that this sprouted up over was pretty interesting, because I thought I'd take a day off today, but every weekend there's something.
The rally lasted about 2.5 hours and remained peaceful. It's one of nearly a dozen being held. Reporting live in Westwood, Tracy Ling, NBC4 News.
Okay, Tracy, thank you so much for that. Energy markets are bracing for what the U.S. strikes on Iran could mean for world oil prices. Right now, Iran is looking into closing the Strait of Hormuz. About 20% of the world's oil passes through the strait, including oil to the U.S. An attempt to block the narrow water between Iran and Oman could have consequences for the global economy. Iran's parliament the closing, but the final decision lies with National Security Council. The U.S. is now calling on China to prevent from closing the strait. And take a look at tomorrow's stock market futures. It's a look at the U.S. market and concern over supply. All three major indexes are falling. The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all expected to open down on Monday. NBC4 will continue to follow and to update you on the breaking developments. The U.S. strikes on Iran. We have full coverage on our website at nbcla.com. Weather light warm today. It's really pretty outside. Olmo is here with your first alert forecast.
Another beautiful day across the area. Now, yesterday we had more clouds across the region. Not today. That lifted for some sun, and we've been enjoying that sunshine across Southern California. So here's a live picture of Long Beach as we continue here early this evening. In Long Beach, temperatures right now at 6. It's nice and comfortable. Temperatures running 7 degrees warmer now compared to this time yesterday. As we go over the hour by forecast for the basin this evening, we're looking good. Again, clear skies. Around 8, 9 o'clock, back down into the mid 60s. We'll be holding up the clear skies as we continue here late tonight. Over tonight and tomorrow morning, again, will be some of us waking up to some clouds and fog. So satellite and radar mostly clear out there as we continue and we zoom out and zoom up to the north where we do have the other system that continues to stand around. This is north of us. This has helped bring some of the winds across the area yesterday. Slight breezes today. We're still looking at some breezes out there, especially around the Inland Empire with wind gusts over 20 miles an hour, also over 25 near Lancaster. But as we continue into the next couple of days, we can expect slightly cooler temperatures and then warming back mid to late week. More on that coming in just a bit. Back to you, Kathy.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Still ahead here at 6, new video of rough waters and we have new